Hey guys, Raven of Ash here. Welcome to the episode 2 of the Dark Pyro Invasions. So this was a fight against a lone host, and a lot of times lone hosts are the hardest of enemies. This guy has a Lorian's greatsword, and it's the only weapon he uses during this fight. So my strategy is always to avoid his attacks and try to whittle him down. His fastest attack is the rolling attack. That's why I try always to get some distance from him. Yeah, at this point I take out the witch's locks in order to do some medium range damage to him. Now he's doing the L1 thing in order for me to panic roll, but I managed not to do it. Now I see my chance and I go for the Black Flame, but I run out of FP and I'm spamming that spell button, but now I realize that I'm out of FP, but he hits me. I think he was surprised as well because he didn't go for the 2-hit combo. So now I gain some distance to get the Ashen Flask in. Now I revert to my old strategy. I go for the Black Serpent, and he does the jumping attack over the Black Serpent, which was kind of impressive. Now I try to change things up and go for the Partisan. I two-hand the Partisan and I go for the running attack. And this guy does the quick draw parry. That's what I call it in the parry guide. And it was really impressive because it was the first parry attempt that he made during the fight, and I was really surprised that he managed to connect that parry. It was a very, very good parry. But now he one-hands the weapon again, so I know that he's gonna try to parry me again. And he goes for the strong attack bait. So he does several strong attacks, several R2s, and I know that he wants to parry me, so I go around for the backstab. It was really interesting how that parry changed the whole dynamic of the fight. Now I go for the Witch's locks on the offhand, and I go for the roll catch. Really nice opponent, great fight. So this invasion started off against a lone host that hid for me for a while, but then two blues arrive, and then the host feels confident enough to face me. Now I am trying to get some distance and put some damage in, some long range damage, so I go for the Black Pyro and I try to protect the mobs. So this guy does the weapon art, and the weapon art isn't really the correct thing to do here. It was the running attack. So I'm starting to think that this Gibbs Blue is not very, very good. Again, he goes for the weapon art, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Now the second blue goes for the Firelink Greatsword weapon art, which has surprising range. That's why I give it a very wide berth. And this guy played very well. He didn't care about the mob. He went straight for me. And that was really well played because now I cannot defend the mob and I have to run away. I'm wearing the silver cat ring, so I'm not afraid to jump down. Now I go for the Black Flame. I instantly get a guard break. I wasn't expecting to get the guard break so easily. And now I go for the same combo. I go for the R1 running attack with the katana, and then I do the Black Flame, and that almost always guarantees a guard break. And I almost managed to kill the host, but not quite. He had a sliver of health. Now I want to face the blue, and I tried to do an unlock turn and burn, which with spears is not a very good idea, because they don't have a big arc. So he really damaged me there and almost killed me. Now this Gibbs guy, he goes after me and almost gets killed. He has just a sliver of health, and then the host comes to the rescue. Now I see that the mob is being overrun, and so I run away. In this area I always wear the silver cat ring, because it usually makes escapes much easier, so I usually never take it off. So the three of them, I was waiting for them to come after me, but the three of them went through the narrow hallway, and so I couldn't do an ambush. Now the host uses a seed, and instead of trying to run away to the swamp, I double back and I leave the whole party in the midst of like 6 or 7 Herald Knights, and they won't be able to kill them all. It's impossible. So either they run away and go back to the top of the stairs, or they follow me. And the blues start dying. First one was this Gibbs guy, and you can see right there that the other blues is the other blue is trying to fight the Herald Knights, or just trying to survive. Now I know that the seed is about to wear off, so I managed to track the host. I don't know where the other blue went, the Firelink Greatsword blue, and so I go for the host. It's a really good strategy in here when hosts use seeds to try to aggro as many mobs as possible. And here there was a bit of phantom range with the straight sword. And actually I didn't fight very well in this fight right here. I was afraid that the blue would come in, and so I rushed things a little bit. Now I know that the blue is dead, but I don't know why. I wasn't very patient. Maybe I was underestimating my opponent, but I tried too much to be aggressive, and in this build it's not really good to be aggressive. It doesn't suit this build. So that was a good R2. That was a good idea. So I'm trying to go back to the katana, and I'm trying to do a running attack and maybe a parry. I try to parry here, but I fail. I don't know if it was lag, if it's not possible to parry R1 spam with the katana. I'm not very experienced in parrying with katanas, but it didn't work. So now I revert to my usual strategy against sword and board guys, which is go in with the running attack with the katana and then go for the black flame. Now I didn't want to kick him here, but either way he would have died. I didn't fight very well against this guy, but this invasion was important because of the strategy of calling out the mobs when the seed is active. It's really very important in this area. It's very useful. So this invasion, it's a 2v1 invasion, and the first thing that happens when I get there is the white gets killed by the explosions here in Lothric Castle. And now I take out the Rotten Brew Spear. My idea is to toy a little bit around with the host. So I always have to respect the hyper armor of the Great Hammer. So I'm trying to find a good opening to attack. Now this weapon can proc poison in about 4 hits. So I think I'm nearly there, and I managed to get the 4th hit between his Great Hammer swings. I probably should have been more aggressive, and because he went for the resummon of his friend, so probably I should have been a bit more aggressive. So I take out the witch's locks in order to do some long range damage. I mean, the main strength of this weapon is that it's very safe. And I really don't know why, but nowadays I don't see a lot of pyros using the witch's locks, which is a pity. So now he goes to resummon his friend again. Now I switch for the partisan, trying to get some damage in. I'm always minding his rolling attacks, so whenever he rolls into me, I know I have to go away. You see, when he's rolling into me, I know he's going to do the rolling attack. So at this point, his friend gets summoned, and he becomes a little bit too aggressive. And the host didn't want to go into this room because I know I have some coverage from the mobs up there. But the white doesn't know what was happening after he died, so he tries to be aggressive and to chase me down into the room. I want him to come into the room. So Black Flame is really good at doing this. It can create an impassable area. It's really good for area control, especially in narrow places like this passage in here. So now I go for the witch's locks to try to do some long range damage. But I forgot that there was some explosive barrels behind me, and I get hit. That would be useful. That was useful for something later in the invasion. Now I tried to go for the backstab, but I don't manage to get it, and it was only with the Gru Rotten Spear, so I wouldn't do a lot of damage anyway. But now I remember that there are some explosive barrels down there, and I want to reposition the party in order for them to get damage. But before that, I try to use the Black Serpent because this is a choke point, and they have to come through here. So it's really hard to dodge the Black Serpent in this kind of terrain. So now that the host goes outside, I get some alone time with the white, and I get the barrels. It's a really nice play. But now the host understands that the white is getting low in damage, and here I outspace the white. Now the white starts to understand that he cannot fight me here. Now I go for the weapon art on the witch's locks, which roll catches him. And now the white is probably getting very low on Estus, and he understands that he cannot go into that room. So now I understand that the only way that I'm gonna kill these guys is if I find them from neutral. In here I tried to go for the backstab, but I didn't calculate it well. So I get some damage from him. And from the white. Now this was the worst part of the invasion. Because they are both chasing me, I don't have a lot of health, and this guy seems to go for the weapon art. And if I roll between them, that weapon art is gonna catch me. And now I get stuck in the ladder, so this was not a good part of the invasion. It was like the only moment in the... There were two moments in this invasion where I thought I was in deep trouble. That was one of them. So now the white is being very, very passive. And he has a talisman on his hand. And the host is always trying to circle me. I just come this way because this is my escape route if things go bad. Now I choose not to punish him. The only punishment I could have done in that situation was an R1. And I don't want to... I want him to feel safe to heal again if he wants. And now I understand that he's going to do the great heal again, and I go for him and get a pivot backstab. Great heals, this miracle leaves you very vulnerable because not only it costs a lot of FP, but above all it costs a lot of stamina, so you won't be able to roll away after you cast that miracle. He goes for it again, and I know that I won't be able to get the backstab, but I get the R1. In here I was trying to get the backstab on the host, but I jump on mistake. So the idea now is to do a turn and burn with the black flame. And this works. It takes a little bit of the host's health. Now I'm getting very low on FP, and I need to put some damage on the party. This was something I learned in an earlier invasion, which is a lot of times you can use the black flame and then get out. The recovery is really fast. So I do the black flame and then I roll out, and especially when they are throwing bombs, that leaves them vulnerable for a bit. So I start throwing bombs, because a lot of times in invasions, when you start doing something, the other party does it as well. And actually this should have been lightning urns, but I always forget to equip the lightning urns. So I'm managing my spacing, because I want to do the black flame and quickly get out. So I do the black flame and then I get out. So now I don't have any more FP. So I need to go for a kind of a more efficient damage dealing option with no FP, which is the Partisan is the best one I've got. So I want to outspace his weapon art, but the host is right around the corner. And here I get tricked by the host hitting the wall. I didn't think he would swing again. And every time the white comes in this room, he gets damaged. And now probably he doesn't have Ashen Estus as well, or FP. So he's really running on fumes. And here I take the opportunity to outspace the R2, but I do one R2 too many. And the host catches me with the running R1. So I need to attack just once and then roll out. That's why I managed to avoid the whites R1s, and now I get the white killed. Now the host becomes aggressive, and now I do this was the second moment of the invasion where I thought I fucked up. Because I didn't respect his hyper armor. I was feeling a bit cocky about killing the other phantom, and now I'm afraid that he's gonna throw a throwing knife or something like that, but he doesn't. He just R1s. So at this point I know that I've won the invasion, because he's very low. He's not healing, and I'm at full health. So there was really nothing he could have done at that point. Now this is an invasion against the Split Leaf greatsword. which is the worst name ever because it's a halberd, but anyway. So first thing I do is use a dual charm. I mean, it was just a resin, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to give him a little less AR. So I tried to get him. I tried to get him to attack him with the greater range of the Witch's Logs, and it's working well. And this guy really loves his jumping attack, and jumping attacks are usually pretty bad. Not only they waste a lot of stamina, they have big recovery frames. So if you can avoid it, I would strongly advise you never or almost never to do a jumping attack. And here I try to roll behind him to get the backstab, but I miscalculated and I get hit. This guy isn't putting a lot of pressure in me, which is nice. So now I have the winged spear, and again this guy goes for the jumping attack, and because its recovery frames are so big, I managed to damage him. Again the jumping attack. Now this guy goes for the combo, and now I just circle around him. I don't try to go into the combo, I just circle around him and go for the easy kill. So this one was a really fast 4v2, sorry, invasion in the Grand Archives. At this time I was playing around with the Great Chaos Firearm. So here I see a white, and I'm going for the same strategy. So R1 with the katana and then Black Flame. So I run diagonally into him in order to get around his crossbow bolt, and then I go for the R1, which gets blocked by the shield, and then I spam Black Flame. It's a really fast way of dealing with shields. So again, I go for the Black Flame. I try to backstab, but Dark Souls 3's backstabs are very inconsistent. And I use the Black Flame to get the guard break, and I do the quick riposte. So now my fellow invader gets rid of the white with the lightning arrow. And I was a bit too impatient, but this is a good example of how Pyros do a lot of stamina damage. Again, the Great Chaos Fire Orb did an immediate guard break on the host. So now I go in again with the same combo. And when the yellow tries to get to me, I just spam Black Flame. It creates like a shield in front of you. Now I don't want to kill the red, so I just do one Black Flame to the host, and then an R1. I know that the red won't be killed. Well guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the final episode of the Dark Pyro Invasions.